This is Ziggy Antonaja here for Seconds Out. Pleasure to be joined over Zoom by the Source two-weight world champion Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence, how are you, mate?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Just landed, soaking it in, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, you're on the eve of a massive event for yourself, fighting out in Nigeria, something you've called for many years. Just talk to me about how you're feeling now it's finally come to fruition.
I feel it's great. I just think this will be one of many. I think, but you have to just take the first step. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, there was a lot of eyebrows raised about Ebenezer Tete being the opponent. We've seen him fight Fraser Clark and Daniel Dubois, Dillian White as well, ranked number 238th in the world. Could you just talk to me about the process in getting Tete as the opponent, and maybe not like a Tony Yoka, for example, who's on this card?
Yeah, for me, we've known that I'm on this card for a long time. As far as I've heard or been told, the team here have been looking for quality opponents. They've made offers to Dylan White and whoever else, but unfortunately, if no one takes the fight, then you just crack on and do what you got to do. Have your fight, beat who's in front of you, and then push on to my final eliminator.
Absolutely. Is it important that you make a statement out there for the people of Nigeria watching you? Obviously, a massive event for them, part of one of the biggest carnivals out in the world out there for them. But to make a statement for them, but also yourself to show people that you're coming in 26 for a world title.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go through a few things that we've been working on. And, obviously, you have to. Anytime you get into a fight, anything can happen. So you have to go in and do your job, and you don't get paid for overtime. So I'm gonna try and make it quick and explosive. But you got another grown man in there, so you just never know. I do, um, I do, however, believe that I'm gonna get a KO. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, in the meantime, we've just seen you get ordered by the WBC to fight Moses Atama. Were you surprised by that? Did you get raised eyebrows, or were you kind of expecting that?
I wasn't. My main thing was that I would be made either mandatory or final eliminator. So I didn't really care who it was. You look at the top 10, top 15, and say, okay, do you know what I mean? Whoever it is, it's going to be. I more thought it was going to be Dan Dubois, but they've obviously got other plans. And we'll see if they've got other plans for Moses as well, and then we'll just keep going down the list. But for me, I don't really care who it is.
Mm. I mean, as a
If
fighter.
anything, I'd prefer it to be Moses.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the history between you two, sparring him when he was still at school, and is it mad to see that now you're being ordered to fight each other like all these years later?
No, not really mad. You know what I mean? I think after he beat Dylan, it was like okay, I think the ones before he beat I can't remember the Southpaw from down under.
Dempsey
he was like that fight there. I raised my eyebrows. Dempsey McKean, I raised my eyebrows. I said, okay, hold on. He's doing it in some spectacular fashion. These are grown men who've been training for all their lives, and then you see him do it with Dylan White. So I thought to myself, okay, well, if he's doing at that level, it's only right that we're going to end up seeing each other because I believe I'm a top class heavyweight and I believe he's a top class heavyweight. So it's going to be what it's going to be.
Absolutely. I mean, for yourself, the politics of the sport aren't really your job. I mean, your job's to get in there, fight, and beat who's in front of you. But being ranked number one in the WBC, you've beaten Mohammed Hussein Mohammed, and then you fought Kevin Lorena. Do you feel like you've earned that spot in the WBC yet to be that high?
I think that if you look at it objectively, I was a world champion for a number of years. Basically, since 2020, I've been a world champion every year. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I've been number one at cruiserweight, went up to bridgerweight, won the WBC belt, went up to heavyweight, won the WBC silver belt, and then I was ranked at number five or whatever it was. And you can see from there, Tyson Fury loses, he's gone. You know, and it happened in succession. It's not like I just went to number one. It's I was number five, and if top four get moved, you move up. And then not to mention that I just beat another world champion in my last fight. So it's like people. I think it's to me it just makes all the sense in the world.
Mhm.
So now we're here, final eliminator. You got a box like a Moses or a Hergovich or someone like that, and then you go for the world title.
I mean, the Queensberry heavyweight stable alone is ridiculous. I mean, there's so many good fights for yourself domestically, but also the world scene that I think the fans want
Yeah,
to see you and all the other guys in. You've got Reactpour that you were
yeah.
meant to fight. I mean,
Uh,
Dubois, there's so many options for
I,
you.
I, yeah. The thing is, for me, it's not a me thing. As we've seen throughout my whole career, since I was a baby cruiserweight. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've always been up for fighting whoever, whenever. But then, as you said, with politics of boxing, as you climb up the levels, people start saying, "That's a hard fight. Do I get paid enough? Blah blah blah." And then certain fights aren't happening. That's why I am happy to be made like final eliminator. So if anyone wants the opportunity, now there's that. But it's not just box Lawrence, it's box Lawrence and then the winner boxes Usyk or whatever. So I think that's going to force a fight. As we've seen here, it's been months, fights not materializing. So you make happen another way.
You mentioned Usyk there. We've seen him and Deontay Wilder get labelled as a fight that's in negotiations to happen. I mean, Wilder's, I believe, 2-4 in his last 6 fights. Now getting almost a free pass to fight the guy of the division, Alexander Usyk. What do you make of that being a guy who is right up there and sort of close to having his shot?
I think, listen, he was world champion for a long time. And at the end of the day, Usyk is allowed to do what he does now. He's become undisputed twice. He's beaten all the top guys twice. It's kind of like if he wants to have a fight against Deontay Wilder for his own legacy and it's a big money fight, as we can see, we can't argue it. He just let go of the WBO belt and the WBC has allowed him a mandatory, or voluntary. So there's not really much to say. Let's just enjoy the fight when it comes. You obviously expect Usyk to be a heavy favourite in that fight, but you never know. Stars make fights.
Absolutely, and another major event that's happening very soon in the heavyweights is Anthony Joshua taking on Jake Paul. We've seen you doing a bit of sparring with Jake Paul. I've seen people questioning whether you were taking it light on him. Can you just talk to me about that spar and how it was for you and your experience?
Yeah, I was quite shocked. Uh, I was quite shocked by how good he is. If I'm honest with you, I expected to just go in there and just like speak to the coaches. Hey, how hard do you want me to go with him? Pause. Like how what percentage? And they were just like, do what you do. So I went in and I did what I did, and so did the other two guys that were there. And like I said, I was shocked.
I mean, but what are Jake Paul's skills? I feel like he's still somewhat unknown. We don't really know how good he is. What does he do well, and also what does he need to improve on?
I missed that last bit.
For Jake, like how good actually is he? What does he do when you're standing across from him? What does he do well, and what does he need to improve on that as a fighter?
I think the main thing is experience, really. Do you know what I mean? I think he's someone that trains every day very hard. So it's like if you do anything every single day, you're gonna get to a good level at it. Do you know what I mean? But I do think it is experience. I don't know, playing football. You can do drills every day, do this every day. But now playing in the Champions League, it's a very different thing. You've got emotions. Is it time to push hard? Is it too early? Is it like stuff that you only gain with experience? I think is what he's lacking. But if you talk about actual raw ability, he's actually pretty good.
When you see him matched up with Anthony Joshua, I mean, does he have any chance in the world to against a guy like AJ, or is it a straightforward fight for him?
Now, of course, we've seen way bigger upsets happen. You've seen it. Do you know what I mean? Even recently, you've seen last weekend huge upset happening. You can never take it for granted, especially when you get to a certain weight. One punch can really change your whole fight. So you have to be like super switched on, super diligent. I know AJ is that type of character anyway, but I'm going to be watching it. And if it was like a guaranteed, there wouldn't be no betting on it, would there? So we just never know until the day.
In terms of the narrative for the fight, I mean, it's basically been AJ has to knock him out early, or AJ's finished basically, and boxing's finished. Does AJ have to knock him out early? And if Jake does go rounds with him, does it diminish his legacy at all?
Does it diminish his legacy? No, because what he's done is done already. Do you know what I mean? It'll just more so be a question mark on where he's at right now. But then, honestly speaking, like from watching Jake in this camp and stuff, there's guys that I think will be in the heavyweight division in Britain already, let alone like I think it's tough because AJ is so good. Do you know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see what he's like against like a mid-level heavyweight. AJ is obviously a world-class heavyweight, so that obviously puts him in a big disadvantage with size and stuff like that. But ultimately, as I said, for me, it'll be nice if people just get to see what Jake's capable of.
So what is Jake capable of? What is something that AJ will have to look out for, I guess, in there?
It's so tough. It's so tough. I don't know how, because boxing's such a crazy sport. You know, styles make fights. I think that if you put Jake Paul in with a lot of other guys, he wins by knockout. With AJ, it's just going to be interesting to see. You know, there's ways for him to beat AJ, but it's obviously just the cards are heavily stacked in AJ's favor. It's clear to see. Do you know what I mean? So I would like us to see how good Jake Paul is, but we'll see.
For yourself as well, coming into the fight, I remember we were all a bit shocked seeing how heavy you came in for your first couple of heavyweight fights at 260, being from a cruiserweight. Have you found your best weight now as a heavyweight, do you think? Da, 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 da.
Pretty much the same currently. I think it's going to take. It's all about the style of the person you're fighting. I think that I'm really enjoying being a big heavyweight now. There's a little bit obviously extra fat, but I'm noticing the same people that I sparred when I was cruiserweight that are heavyweight. When I'm in there with them now, it's a completely different look and feel and spar because like it's, my strength and size and power are undeniable now. So it's like it just looks and feels different. I'm enjoying that sort of feeling of being able to walk guys down, out strength them, outwork them. However, I do think if you're boxing someone who's like, let's say, a faster guy, I think you'd have to kind of drop a little bit of weight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when I interviewed you before your first fight at heavyweight, we were talking about the criticism that you would get from fans as a cruiserweight, maybe clinching too much, etc. Do you feel like as a heavyweight now, you're able to actually implement your boxing skill that bit more now that you feel better at the weight?
Yeah, I think we've seen it in my last three fights. You know, I had two first round knockouts. I beat a good heavyweight in my last fight. Won pretty much every round. No clinching, just boxed nice and clean, and won a comfortable decision. So I think we'll see something very similar to this weekend, where I just go in there, do my thing, box well, get a knockout, and then we'll see what happens. You know, with the one after. Like, who is it? Is it Moses or is it someone else? I think it has to be Moses personally, but I don't want to overlook Sunday.
Mm, absolutely. Final one from me. How's it go down in Nigeria? You're going to be taking it all in, I'm sure, the ring walk and the whole experience, but how's it go down on Sunday night?
It goes down as business as usual. I go, obviously I have to see the guy in person. I don't know what his camp's been like and whatever else. But for me, I'm just gonna go in there and just basically do my thing, treat it like how I treat any other fight. You know, like basically I'm aiming to go and sort of. I kind of want to see what he does. Obviously, I work very well off of other people's work, and I think he's a guy that's going to throw punches. So I think I should get the fight over, quickly, hopefully.
Mm,
But we'll see.
yeah, yeah. Well, Lawrence, I wish you the best, mate. Thank you very much for your time.